Jai Shri Krishna, welcome to Mangalam. Today marks the beginning of our journey through the Bhagavad Gita. More than a sacred scripture, the Gita is a guide to understanding ourselves, our purpose, and the choices we make every day. Our journey begins on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where one question sets the stage for one of history's greatest spiritual dialogues. Does the greatest spiritual teaching ever given begin with a battle? Surprisingly, no. It begins with a question. A question that wasn't asked only by King Dhritarashtra, but one that each of us asks, consciously or unconsciously, throughout our lives. Dhritarashtra, Uvach Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre Samveta, Yuyutsva. Mamka, Pandavaschev Kim Kurvat Sanjay. King Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? The Bhagavad Gita begins with a question from a blind king, Dhritarashtra, which sets the stage for the entire philosophical discourse. This opening verse of chapter 1 verse 1 is not merely a historical inquiry about a battlefield, it is a profound metaphor for the human condition. Dhritarashtra is physically blind, but his words reveal a deeper spiritual blindness, the blindness of extreme attachment and mindness. By referring to his sons as Mamanka, my own, and to the sons of his brother as the sons of Pandu, he draws a sharp line of separation. This duality is the root of all human suffering and conflict. The setting is described as Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. While Kurukshetra was a geographical location, calling it a field of righteousness or dharma suggests that the battle about to take place is an eternal struggle between the higher self and the lower ego. The field of action is actually our own consciousness. Every day, we stand on our own Kurukshetra, where our virtuous tendencies, represented by the Pandavas, face our darker, ego-driven impulses, represented by the Kauravas. Dhritarashtra's anxiety about what happened on the field reflects our own inner fear. Will our attachments and ego triumph over our sense of duty and truth? The king's question to Sanjay, who possessed divine vision, reminds us that while we may be blinded by our desires, there is always a faculty of higher awareness within us that can observe the conflict objectively. This verse invites us to look within and identify the forces competing for control over our lives. When we apply the wisdom of chapter 1 verse 1 to our daily lives, we begin to recognize that our mind is the ultimate battlefield. Every decision we make, whether it is about our career, our relationships, or our health, is a skirmish on the field of Dharmakshetra. The Dhritarashtra within us is that voice of narrow attachment that says my profit, my comfort, or my ego, even if it comes at the cost of others or our own long-term well-being. To live mindfully, we must learn to recognize when we are being driven by this mindness. Just as the king asked Sanjay for a report, we must cultivate the Sanjay within us, the witness consciousness. By stepping back and observing our thoughts and emotions, without immediately reacting to them, we gain the clarity needed to act righteously rather than impulsively. This verse teaches us that life is not just a series of random events, but a continuous opportunity to choose dharma over ego. It encourages us to ask ourselves, in the Kurukshetra of my current situation, am I feeding my attachments, or am I standing for what is right? This shift in perspective transforms mundane challenges into spiritual exercises, helping us navigate modern stress with a sense of purpose and higher alignment. In a professional setting, choosing to give credit to a team member instead of claiming it all for yourself is a victory for the Pandav forces within your own Dharmakshetra. When faced with a difficult conversation, pausing to observe your rising anger like Sanjay observes, the battlefield allows you to respond with wisdom rather than blind reaction. Before we conclude, take a moment to reflect. What is your Kurukshetra today? Are your decisions being guided by truth and duty, or by fear, attachment, and ego? In the next verse, Sanjay begins describing the battlefield. We'll see what Duryodhan notices first, and why his very first words reveal far more than just military strategy. If today's reflection brought you a little more clarity, we invite you to continue this journey with us. Until next time, may wisdom guide your thoughts, compassion guide your actions, and dharma guide your life. Jai Shri Krishna.